of the most common reasons I hear why people can't actually become a full-time copywriter or make any money online is because they just don't have enough time. And while most people will actually just go ahead and tell you, oh, well, all this is an excuse, you just need to work harder, the fact of the matter is that time is one of the biggest bottlenecks for people actually trying to create their own business from home. And I only say that because this is something that I actually struggled with a lot when I was first starting out, because I started with a 9-to-5. Well, technically it was a 7-to-5, and I actually worked on weekends as well. And I remember thinking to myself, how on earth would I be able to make this work with all of this time commitment that I have to put into other stuff? So in this video, I wanted to share with you exactly how I was able to optimize my time and become a full-time 10K a month copywriter from home with a 9-to-5 job. Now, the first one, despite it may be sounding just a little bit crazy, is waking up at 2 a.m. Now look, I completely understand, right? You got all these gurus, all these mythical entrepreneurs who are out here telling you, wake up at 5, wake up at 4, wake up at 3. And you might not have even heard anybody say that they wake up at 2 a.m. because it just sounds extremely just weird. And I always get weird looks whenever I tell people this, but yes, it's true. I woke up at 2, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it and why it was so helpful to me actually being able to make 10K a month from home as a copywriter, even though I still had a 9-to-5 job. Now, the reason I started waking up this early is because I realized that after I got back home from my 9-to-5 job, I was completely drained. I had no energy to go to the gym, no energy to work on my goals, and I would never actually end up putting in or getting done what I wanted to get done. So then that kind of inspired me to wake up an hour earlier. Now that I woke up this hour earlier, I was able to do a little bit of outreach to clients in the morning before I had to go to work. And the reason why this was so powerful is because I had all of my deep work energy right there in the morning to work on the most important part of my day, which was outreach. And then that, of course, naturally led to me waking up 2 hours earlier, 3 hours earlier, 4 hours earlier. And before I knew it, I was waking up at 2 a.m., getting all of my work done, going to the gym, and then going to work. And as soon as I got back home from work, I would pretty much maybe eat a meal and then go right to bed. And of course, the next natural question that pops up in your head is, Tyson, how were you able to wake up at 2 a.m.? Because a normal person, they're already in bed, they're groggy, or some people even go to bed at as late as 2 a.m. And really all it came down to was, like I said, pushing back my wake up routine a little bit earlier and also going to sleep a little bit earlier every night as well. And before I really knew it, I was waking up at 2 a.m. Now, of course, I did all the strategies and tactics, like, putting my alarm on the other side of the room, or also putting smart lights in my room so that whenever 2 a.m. hit, the lights would turn on and they would wake me up basically forcefully, right? So by putting in all those systems in place, I didn't really even have much of a choice, and I was able to get up at 2 a.m. every single morning. And one of the last reasons why waking up at 2 a.m. was so important for me is because it forced me to go to sleep at 6 p.m. Going to bed at 6 p.m. completely eliminates all of those distractions, right? All those girls that are going to hit you up and ask to hang out, they're not trying to hang out with you up in the morning. They want to hang out with you, or they're going to hit you up at night. All of your friends who want to go out to the club and do all of that other distracting stuff, right? That happens at night. All that stuff, all the distracting stuff, all the worst stuff that you want to avoid happens at night. So being asleep at 6 p.m. really helps you focus, which leads into the next big thing that really helped me, and that was cutting out distractions. You see, oftentimes when people actually set a goal and they try to achieve something, they want to take their bad habits with them. And I'm here to tell you, man, that it just doesn't work, okay? I get it. You still want to go to the club, and you try to say, well, maybe I'll just go to the club once a month, or maybe I'll just go every 2 months. But I'm telling you, man, is that the best way to actually achieve your goals and to focus and to cut out distractions is to completely cut those bad habits out cold turkey, okay? And the reason why I'm saying cut those bad habits out cold turkey, even though a lot of people might think, yo, Tyson, that would make my life suck. My life would suck if I wasn't able to go out and do these things, have fun with my friends, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm saying, that's cool. I'm not telling you to give it up forever. I'm only telling you to give it up for a specific period of time until you reach your goal, and then you're able to indulge again. But it only takes maybe 6 months to a year of really getting focused on your goal and cutting out all those distractions. So I'm not saying you never get to go hang out with the boys again, or you never get to go chase skirts again. Like, you can do all those things, but make sure that they're after you've actually achieved the goal that you're trying to achieve. And before someone goes down into the comments and says, but Tyson, cutting out all that stuff would be really hard. It would be really difficult for me to do all that. And let me be the first to tell you that I know. I know how hard it would be, because I remember vividly the hardest part of my copywriting journey. And the hardest part of my copywriting journey was June 23rd, 2022. And the reason why I remember the date and everything is because it was my birthday. I had basically cut off all my friends and stopped talking to everybody and stopped hanging out and stopped doing all those distracting activities about 4 or 5 months at that point, right? So I had basically fallen off the face of the earth, and I had completely been focusing on nothing but my goals for the last couple months, meaning that on my birthday, obviously, people had forgotten about me really, and nobody reached out and said anything. So I felt really alone. But hey, man, I'm not saying that so that you'll pity me or to, have a poopy pants, all wah pity party type of thing. I'm only saying that because I'm glad that I did it, and I get to live the life that I've wanted to live for a very long time. And of course, the next big thing that actually helped me become a 10K a month copywriter with a 9 to 5, and of course, a whole bunch of other time commitments, was actually scheduling my time and prioritizing my tasks. Guys, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And proper preparation prevents poor performance. All of that to say that, bro, you better actually schedule and prioritize your stuff. Otherwise, your day is going to be completely disorganized, and you're not going to be able to get done the stuff that you need to get done. Now, a very real concept that I actually came across in my copywriting journey is called decision fatigue. And basically what that means is that every time you go to make a decision, it actually takes mental energy. It actually takes a lot of mental energy to sit there and think of, okay, well, what's the next thing that I need to do? And it's just a huge waste of energy. So what do you do instead? Well, in the morning, you actually want to lay out your day exactly how you want to do it, exactly in which order, due to priority, you want to complete it. You're not only going to be able to do more, but you're also going to be able to do more with more mental energy. And of course, that leads me on to my next point, right? The next huge thing that allowed me to actually become a 10K a month copywriter with a 9 to 5 job on the side was actually tracking my time. Guys, if you want to know where all of your time goes, you have to track it, okay? For example, you open up your screen time app, and I guarantee you probably have 6 to 8 hours a day, probably on Instagram or Facebook or whatever you like to use to just waste time on. But of course, I want you to take it a step further than just your screen time app, okay? I want you to actually track every single minute that you do things, okay? Now, you can do this by hand, just by writing it down on a notepad, but you can also do it with softwares like Toggle, for example. And this is one that I actually use myself. So I actually track every single minute of my day so that I know where my time goes. Guys, let me put it into perspective for you, okay? People pay accountants hundreds of thousands of dollars to figure out exactly where their money goes, okay? And as we all know, time is so much more important than money. So you can just kind of imagine, extrapolate from that, how important actually tracking your time is. So the next big reason of why I was able to become a 10K a month copywriter while still having my 9 to 5 job is I actually cut out trial and error. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean by that. Look, when I first started my copywriting journey, I was like 90% of the people out there trying to learn copywriting on YouTube for free. And the reason why I wanted to learn copywriting on YouTube for free is because I couldn't picture a bigger scam than literally paying somebody just for some information when you could literally just go on YouTube and look at copywriting tutorials and stuff for free. It was, to me, the equivalent of how people pay for OnlyFans when they can just go on Google Images and search up whatever they want, right? I'll leave that to the imagination. So I always thought that paying for information would be a huge scam until I actually watched a video by Kevin Samuels where he said a few things that completely changed my mindset, and I want to read them out to you. What is offered for free is dangerous. It usually involves either a trick or a hidden obligation. what has worth is worth paying for. It is also often wise to pay the full price. There are no cutting corners with excellence. Always despise the free lunch. It is the work, the hunt, the chase that makes the appetite keen. And basically the conclusion that I got out of that was that nobody expects the best information to be the cheapest, and nobody expects the cheapest information to be the best. So I decided that I was going to actually pay for a copywriting course and maybe a mentor. And what I realized as soon as I bought those courses and that mentorship is that realistically, if you really look at it, right, to become a full-time copywriter, it's always going to be pay to win. But some people like to pay their time and some people like to pay their money. And as we were already discussing, since I already had my 9-to-5 job and all that, I couldn't really pay time. I didn't really have all that time to pay. So I said, okay, look, I can't pay time. So what I'm going to do is pay money. Even though I didn't really have very much of it, I invested in myself. So I went all in and it gave me incredible insights. Okay, the thing that I really realized was that these courses and these programs, really what they are is condensed wisdom. And of course, it's very, very hard that you actually won't get results by following a program to the T. And the next thing that actually allowed me to become a 10K a month copywriter while I had a 9-to-5 job was actually replacing my 9-to-5 job over time. Do you know what's even better than becoming a 10K a month copywriter with a 9-to-5 job? Is becoming a 10K a month copywriter without a 9-to-5 job. Well, Tyson, how am I able to replace my 9-to-5? I don't got no clients yet. So what I did was when I was starting to make, my first 1K a month, 2K a month, 3K a month, then I started having more, sick days off work. And I slowly transitioned from my 9-to-5 job over to actually doing copywriting full time. Okay. So I didn't just cut, my 9-to-5 job off cold turkey, but I would take some days off. And on those days off, I was able to work exponentially more until I eventually was able to quit, put all of my time into copywriting. And then it was just game over from there because I had an extra 40, 50, 60 hours a week that I could actually put into it. And of course, yes, I get it. That's easier said than done, right? But with the right outreach methods, I was actually able to get clients repeatably, and I didn't have to just sit there doing outreach all day, right? So the time that I used to be doing outreach, I was able to get better at my copywriting and also better service my clients and get them more money, thus making me more money. Now, if you wanted to know some of these outreach methods, I actually have a full ultimate outreach playbook that shows you all of them and how you can actually implement them to get yourself clients as a copywriter. And on top of that, I also have a full playlist, a free course on my YouTube channel that will show you how to get copywriting clients with different outreach messages. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. And of course, I'll see you on the next one. All right.